Hey guys, Greg Baldwin here and Ryan Har. Say hi, Ryan.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
And we are with Flagstaff Real Estate Professionals, and we wanted to take some time today to talk about three things we wish we knew as baby real estate agents when we first got into the industry. 87% of real estate agents will fail out of the business within their first 2 years. And that's really just not acceptable. That's such an incredibly high failure rate. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about what we wish we knew back then to get ourselves started off on the right path. I have about 7 years real estate experience. Ryan, you have about 7 years, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So we have about 14 years of real estate experience combined in multiple markets. So we thought we'd help you out today. Ryan, what's one thing you wish you could go back and tell yourself when you first started?
I'll tell you what, Greg, if I knew what I knew now, the learning curve would be a lot easier, that's for sure. Looking back on it, I think it's the same mistake that most agents make. It's just really those three S's, right? The schedule, the systems, and the skills. And we all get into real estate thinking, hey, this is going to be, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to make all kinds of money. Yet we don't really have, what it takes to kind of get that right path to get going,
Yeah, and when you say schedule, it's all about the time management piece, right? And really scheduling out your day. And one of the things I like to say is dollar productive activities. You should be really focused on those things because really everything else is fluff.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So the stuff that makes you money, just like you said, everything else is fluff. It's charity work. It's essential work. But in the beginning, you're probably going to have to do it yourself. In the beginning, you probably need to make sure all that stuff is scheduled so that you're doing it at the right times of the day. But hopefully, as you get further down the road and you don't fail out of the industry, well, you can get someone to do it for you.
Absolutely. What would you say is the second most important? You mentioned a couple of S's there.
Oh yeah, so schedule, systems, right? So when I first got started in real estate, one, I didn't have anybody to tell me what I needed. Two, I didn't have a lot of money. So I remember my first CRM was actually a file cabinet with folders literally, and they hung. I called it the hanging system, right? And so I would call people and I'd say, hey, just calling to see if you might be thinking of selling your house. And they'd say, yeah. And then they'd tell me a time and date, and I'd write it down on a piece of paper, and then I'd stick it in the corresponding month. So like they said they were going to sell in March, so I'd stick them in the March folder, and then I'd close it, right? And then when I got to March, I'd come back and I'd look at all those pieces of paper.
Yeah, you've come a long way. I think it's really important to get some type of system that's working for you, right? So it kind of falls in with time management as well, but putting that CRM into place to where exactly when you come in to work, the people that you need to follow up with, the new people you need to contact to be successful. And really tracking that too, not just making the phone calls, but tracking your business, figuring out, okay, how many calls does it take to make a contact? How many contacts does it take to make an appointment? How many appointments am I setting to get to a closed sale? And when you figure that out, when you understand it's just a numbers game, and you can do this on all kinds of different softwares out there, and some of them aren't that expensive, you're really going to start figuring out how to be successful in real estate.
Yeah, they call that systematic follow-up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm glad we have it in place now.
Yeah, it's come a long way since the hanging file cabinet, that's for sure.
All right, the last one you mentioned was skills. Tell me about that.
Well, we get into the industry, and what we don't realize is that this is a sales-based job. And so skill sets can be, different across the board in real estate. Obviously you need skill sets in contract law and understanding how to negotiate the contract. We also need skill sets in sales, right? We're in a sales-based industry. So when I first got in, I didn't have any of that. And so getting someone who can coach and mentor you on, the science of sales, or the right things to say when you're on the phone with people to get that appointment, right? Because that's what it's all about, getting appointments, getting face-to-face, belly to belly.
Yeah, and a lot of times we talk about script training and role play, and I think that stuff kind of gets a bad name because people get the idea that you're some robot saying the same thing over and over again. But, I always go back to sports. You don't get into a professional basketball game before stretching and practicing all week. And so if you think that you just know what to say when you get on the phone with $1 million home buyer who's bought a bunch of houses and you're new to real estate, so you're kind of learning it. I'm telling you, knowing it before you go into it, you're just more likely to have the right words to say and be successful in sounding like the expert on the phone. So while it gets a bad name, man, it's something that we consistently still do, is practice those scripts. We warm up in the morning, just making sure that we're saying the right things on the phone and that we're coming across as the experts. Because if you don't use it, you lose it.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to get out there and stretch before you play. And, the other thing is you want to get good at shooting free throws. You got to shoot tens of thousands of free throws. Right. So it's just a repetition thing. And so, just being consistent and having the right words to say, and then working on that so that they, they're very natural and they become your own, that's kind of the key there. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ryan. Let's give them a quick recap. What were those 3 S's?
Oh yeah. Systems, schedule, and skills.
All right, guys, there you have it. Systems, schedules, skills. Hopefully you learned something today. If you like this video, make sure to give us a like or a heart or drop a comment. Let us know what you want to hear about. We want to give you information about the real estate market, about what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, and anything you might want to know. So hope you guys have a wonderful day. Again, Greg and Ryan here at Flagstaff Real Estate Professionals. As always, be the professional.
Hey guys, have a good day, man. I'm gonna jump on the phone.